What is good, y'all? It's time for Radiant 165. What's up? Common Hummingbird Nest Peak. Are we ready? Okay, maybe it's just a little bit of a good idea to pull up the bracket. There we go. We have our first match ready. Vexry versus Dream Journey. Limit. Okay, gotcha. I am not keeping track of these name changes, so thank you very much, production. Hello. Wait, our players are actually... Oh my goodness, they speed ran their entry into the lobby. Is this like world record pace? Like, oh my goodness. And warm-up skip? Holy time save. Alright. Might be the fastest stream to match start I've ever seen. But our players are ready, and our match will be starting shortly. Okay, we are not going to have a rule set mishap. This is the correct one. It is time for our players to cook. Vex does end up misdropping their TKI, but they're gonna take this right into a 6-3. Already doing some very interesting donations to fix their board, and they've already got the height dependency entirely solved. Very nice way to find well access. Limit is looking extremely cheesed up, but they're gonna find some efficient ways down. Nobody at any surge lead thus far. Just looking for their own ways in. Trying not to get too greedy with it. Limit looking for their down stack. Vex doesn't have kill pressure yet, and that misdrop's definitely gonna put a wrench into any plans to find it. And Limit is going to be taking the first round. Despite the amount of cheese on their board, that was an extremely cleanly played round from Limit. Vex seems to just need to get their misdrops under control, and then maybe they can take control of the set from there. Having this cut copy at the ready, playing so fast that the spike is continuing to rise after the combo breaks. You love to see that just pure speed on display. Vex doing some all spins to keep the surge as high as possible, getting extremely greedy with it with the count to 4s, somehow not being forced to breaking the surge on their own terms, and oh, the eyepiece misdrop from Limit. You hate to see that, and that will be nail in the coffin. We are now at 1-all. But these are first to 7s, so we can't count anybody out just yet. The DT cannon comes out from Limit. Ooh, misdrop, so they're not going to get that second TST. Very unfortunate timing, but luckily for them, Vex has a lot of misdrops on their own. And yeah, if Vex isn't able to get these misdrops under control, then the set could definitely snowball from here. You have a lot of leeway in this first to 11, but still, you wouldn't want to be in a situation where you're required to expend that leeway if you don't need to be. But Vex is going to move into the 6-3. Misdrops pretty early on. Limit misdrops as well, so Vex has not lost too much ground. But the misdrops are just constant right now. Really trying to get their flow into things as they enter top 8. Vex gonna break the surge at 7. Limit canceling the majority of the cheese, having the main well access. expends it all for neutral ground. Vex trying to keep that well open. Very nice awareness of their counting. Having very nice all spins as well after they force the surge from Limit. Limit is going to be stuck in a 9-0. Now at the bottom of their board. Luckily for Limit, Vex did not have a very large spike in that amount of time. Very well played from Limit to force the surge break from Vex. Extremely well-timed spikes there. Gonna have the stall at the ready. And that was a good play, but the execution was a little bit off. One misdrop is all it took in the face of imminent danger. Hello, Ellie. Oh my, we have a... I looked away for a second and they've got the same build at the ready. But Vex is going to be the one coming out here in the advantage. Having the 10 surge online. Limit looking for more information before making their play. They're already losing so much ground, but they're able to survive the surge spike. Limit is playing this very patiently. Definitely something you want to be doing when you're at such a speed disadvantage. Mutual surge is at the ready. Limit isn't going to be greedy with it. Vex has the 11. Tanks to send the surge uninterrupted, but because it was at 11, it's at a threshold to where it might not have even been worth doing that. Looking for the next 4 surge, able to find it. Has a well. Getting it to a 22 spike almost as soon as they can. And in the mid game, the speed is climbing from Vex. Unfortunately, it's gonna backfire as they misdrop. Limit trying their best to find a down stack as Vex is still struggling to find kill pressure. Limit once again gonna cover up the well. Limit was playing very nicely, but just a few misdrops is all it takes. But they have been taking very nice advantage of the misdrops that Vex have been doing. Vex has a 6 combo, so it's gonna cheese up Limit a little bit. And once again, Limit's not gonna be greedy with the surge. Gonna send it as soon as it's even a little bit potent. Trying to force Vex into decisions they'd rather not make. Lisette, why? We'll do this later. Mutual TKIs. Limit going for the tanks. They don't want to lose their pressure pacing, so very nice tanking, and yeah, that misdrop from Vex. Once again, nail in the coffin. Letting your opponent make a mistake isn't supposed to be a viable win condition. It's supposed to be a bonus, but it seems to just be the way it is. Limit's just been taking very nice advantage of it almost every time it has happened. Take what you can get. Getting some pretty nice damage on the board, but Vex is in the 6-3, getting some all spins at the ready as well. Starting to climb the surge. Actually had to deal with a kill threat there. Very good of them to recognize that that's what they were dealing with. Vex, I mean, Limit is able to cycle their eyepiece, cycling the next as well, but there's more where this came from. The surge spike comes out, and that's all she wrote. We are at 4-all. The tennis match is in full swing, back and forth. Vex is misdropping their all spins though. So they're gonna be in a considerably worse board state than they would hope for. Especially after that eyepiece misdrop, the Z-spin was forced and there's just no way to recover that. Very well-timed spike from Limit. Oh, Limit with the awareness to take that as a TSS was very nice. It's not often a player will recognize that there is actually ground to be gained from doing so, rather than going for max damage. But are they going to survive the follow-up? Not quite. Vex looking to have found some momentum. Finally starting to take advantage of that huge stat gap they have. Vex actually starting to play the awareness game as well. Not gonna get entirely outplonked, but these misdrops are still heavily out of their favor. Limit is currently just trying to go down. They don't really care how it's done, not worrying about how much damage they send. But even still, it's going to be enough. From the very beginning, these players were neck and neck. Somebody's gonna look for a breakaway. The C-spin's coming out from Vex. A little bit of mech shape stacking. And what a way to fix the height dependency! Sending quite a lot of damage to Limit, who has the cancels at the ready. Not in any imminent danger. Oh, that's a lot of misdrops from Vex. They're gonna have to leverage the speed advantage to the absolute maximum if they want a chance. But of course, there's just the better option of not being in that situation in the first place. Way easier said than done. But that's what's gonna have to be done. The C-spin opener's coming out from Vex, but it is misdropped. They're not gonna get the initial spike they were looking for, but the tank might actually prove even more beneficial than the intended effect. Limit doing some very interesting tanking. The eyepiece misdrop also has very small consequences, if any. But now they have to worry about the speed coming in. Limit won the Tetra League set, but Vex is really closing in on this lead. Absolutely nothing significant about this scoreline. I better not see anything when I look down. God dang it. Limit did have the 6-3 well for a little bit, but they simply do not have the time to leverage it to the extent that they would wish to. And they had to think way too hard about how they wanted to put that piece down. And that's all the time that Vex needed to find a kill shot, and we are back tied at 7. Flinching like a Victorian child. Very nice all-spin sequence from Vexery there. Oh, donates for the Z-spin. Playing with a little bit of style, a lot of class, dare I say. And the sequences are just looking elite, really leveraging the speed. This is exactly the kind of game that Vex wants to play. The misdrops are few and far between. 49 Spike comes out and Limit is able to live to tell the tale. Extremely amazing survival from Limit. Able to keep this at the very minimum neutral ground. Speaking of which, they actually downstack all the way to the ground. Ridiculous displays of survival. But the second they misdrop, the second the perfection decides to fade, that's all Vexery needed. These are the kinds of rounds that Vexery's been looking for. The moment Vex finds their stride, dare I say there's no stopping them. But Limit has definitely been putting some valiant efforts in. Vex able to access their well, but they are stuck into 8-1. So Nerve Surge is able to be leveraged from this position. Just trying to get down in the meantime. Ooh, that was a very nice tankable board state on Limit's end, but the misdrop over the well is just not what you want to be seeing. But the back and forth has actually started to get wider. We've seen 2 points ahead from both players at one point in the set. But now 3 ahead from Vex. Turn it into actual momentum. A sight that wasn't necessarily expected to be seen this late into the set. Max Multiplier was in the cards for Limit. They're going to accept it. But they're gonna need a lot more if they want to survive. Able to cycle the first eyepiece, but they're gonna need a lot more. Not just a little bit, not just 1, not just 2. And Vex with this relentless pressure, piling on more and more. Sending 400 more lines than Limit in that set, is able to take it. And I do have to say this, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. There you go, Lisette. I will not be scamming you. Notice the score went from 6-7 to 11-7? Yes. Going from back and forth to locking in and taking 5 in a row. Quite the feat in our top 8. But yeah, just very well played from Limit to even take it to that point. Very much leveraging the misplays from Vex in that set. But now, we are preparing our next matchup. Closer in the seeding department, 2 and 3. I have not been keeping track of the name changes. We have Maya, not Top Gun. I definitely said that wrong, and Nara. Okay, it's a horse. I should have seen that coming. Quite the what? I don't even recall what I said. My bad. I'm not those who know. Some slight amounts of trolling happening in the game lobby right now. Alright, now our matchup has entered the lobby, determining if they want their warm-ups. The stats are actually really close for these players. Only a 0.1 speed difference and a sub 10 APM difference, so this will be a very interesting match to watch. I feel like I'm going to say that about all of these, but it's true. Alright, into the actual set. SDPC spin coming out from Nara. And I'm not sure how you actually are supposed to shorten this name, since I am not an Uma player. So I will just be saying Top Gun for the rest of this. Already down a point, they're definitely going to need to bring out the big guns if they want to take this set. We are going to see some very interesting all-spins to start the game. Nara, unfortunately, having to break their surge early. Not what they would have wanted to see. They're able to get decently low in their board, but it's starting to get dicey. Oh my, the greed? Actually, I think I'm just gonna say Maya. That makes a lot more sense. Mayano. Okay. The greed for Mayano to try and keep that surge lead is insane. It's Ellie? Why didn't we just say that? Okay. I have not been keeping track of these game changes. I don't know what you were expecting. You know what? Maybe I should have known. Maybe it's my bad for not recognizing that this is Ellie. Oh my goodness. And now I sound like the ramblings of an insane person because apparently they can't hear you. Crying. But it has stayed within a single point differential. Oh, they went for... Well, I'm sorry, wait, what is this continuation? Okay, I thought you were, like, going for a thing that was, like, theory, but no, that was just complete freestyle, and it looks sick. Oh, okay, that was an actual opener. Loving to see the style points. And... How do I even describe the sequence that Ellie just pulled? And Nara's just completely shrugging this off. As an All-Spin enthusiast myself, I gotta point out when I see some absolute fire. What the players are now going to be even on the surge. Nara has more damage potential at the moment. Extending the spike as far as they possibly can, but Ellie's gonna survive the initial. O-piece over the well is going to be nail in the coffin. Nara's gonna take it to a 2-point lead. Very nice counter from Nara. Getting some all-spins to charge the surge a little bit faster. And they're actually not even gonna greed for it. They thought they had a kill shot there. Which wasn't terrible intuition given Ellie's board state. But it wasn't enough to finish the job. Ellie's now in prime position to start leveraging an advantage here. Has quite the well to work with. But Nara's pressure is going to force Ellie to make some decisions that compromise the advantage that they just had. And Nara's got an amazing surge lead to boot. But now we're actually going to see the greed start to come out. Not even guaranteeing the win with the surge pop. Just going to go ahead and hold it. Holding it for next game even. But it is what wins points. TST tower. Absolutely banger sequence from Ellie, extending the spike to 32. And in very quick succession, they are able to take a point. Stopping Nara's momentum in its tracks. Okay, not quite the mirror opener. The DT from Ellie. Ellie's just completely swagging out during this set. But eventually they are going to have to turn style points into real points, as they are still down in this set. Very curious to see how they're going to manage that. Definitely easier said than done. Nara just able to build 15 surge for free. Uncontested, unthreatened. Number go up. And Ellie is just currently embracing the Q dependencies and not getting punished in the slightest. They are going to be at a significant surge disadvantage, but once again, getting completely bailed out by the Q. Offense by gambling is the name of the game. And that is how Ellie has taken their point. Gonna go for a relatively normal opener now. Gonna see mirror TKIs. Ellie does have a height dependency to solve. Done so with the T-Waste. But Nara is still in an LST. Breaking after I say that. Understandable. And Nara has a very significant surge lead. Trying to find the kill shot, not quite able to find it. And now Ellie has the opportunity to build a surge lead of his own. Not quite a counter 4 from Nara, but the all-spin afterwards is going to equalize it just the same. Or just playing over top of this cheese. Getting to the Force Surge threshold. Extremely well played from Nara, the way they just handled that board state. Like getting some all spins on. They made it to the Surge threshold, so now Nara has to downstack a little bit more cheese before they even think about finding a kill. Getting extremely dicey, the downstack isn't quite possible there. And Ellie is already showing a comeback story. Nara's just playing really clean right now. As I say that, they get in an extremely dependent spot with not what they were looking for in their queue. So the Surge lead ends up being broken, but the board state is just so much clean. Ellie's forced to use their Surge on the defense, able to survive the first spike, looking for more, cycles the eyepiece, and Ellie has made it to the clear. Nara has the Surge lead. Used it mostly on defense there. That high in the board, but not really able to fully leverage what they had. And both of these players are going back and forth into IP cycling duty. Just trading board heights. But Nara's finally going to be looking to build a significant Surge lead. We've made it to the threshold of absolute clean. The 22 spike as well. But Ellie has made it all the way down to the ground. Has a Force Surge, so they're not going to lose too much pressure from this. But the board state is a much larger concern at this moment. Okay, Ellie almost putting the eyepiece on the well, thought about it for an extra second and made the correct play. Absolutely life-saving decision. What a survival from Ellie! And they're able to find the next well, too. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Gravity margin time is upon us. But for players of this caliber, it is just but a breeze. Ellie right now actually gonna choose to play less greedy. Uh-oh. Not a good J-piece misdrop from Ellie. They're gonna have to get extremely lucky with the cycling. The T-piece is next, but they're not able to get there. And Nara has stopped Ellie's momentum in its tracks. But after such a long-fought round, I would not be surprised if this is unconvertible. If we were just right back to neutral mental. TST Tower is coming out from Ellie, and they're gonna send it to the C-spin. Very interesting plays. But Ellie's gonna be the one who's gonna walk out with a Surge advantage. Definitely not expected in that situation. Masterfully executed round by Ellie there. And indeed, the momentum was unconvertible. Well, he did misdrop the opener. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of pivoting, just going into this 9-0 stack. Nara just down stacking all the way to the floor. Very lovely 7 combo. And oh my, the well absolutely loves Nara right now. And they're just gonna start hitting the jets trying to leverage this. And it's still not enough. Loving the game chat callouts. We're gonna see C-spin versus TST Tower. This time, Ellie's gonna have the privilege of tanking. Gonna leverage this into a 28 spike plus tax. Ellie has an extra surge advantage. Takes it to the threshold of absolute clean. It's kill shot or nothing for Ellie. Unfortunately, not able to find the kill shot, and Nara able to find the 4th threshold to bolster their attack power enough to get that kill shot. Oh my good. Yes, we made it to the funny score line. We did it. I swear, if every set ends up being a 6-7, I might just lose it. Very unfortunate misdrops from Ellie in that round. Alright, into the C-spin from Ellie. Nara's gonna send first. Ellie has the privilege of tanking, but not the privilege of keeping the surge. And Nara actually has an extremely convertible board state here. Getting the 19 spike. But oh no. Not good garbage placement. And Ellie is going to end up taking that round. And Ellie is back up to their shenanigans. Very nice counter 4 as well. I know Ellie was looking at it. Congratulations on resisting the C-spin. That probably would have gotten you killed if you went for it. Able to find the 4 surge threshold. Greeting to stack it up a little bit higher. If it works out, we're about to find out. Getting the cut copy as well. Not able to find the other 4 threshold. And the eyepieces are way too far to think about cycling for the eye spin. Nara's really been an opportunist over the course of this set. Really capitalizing on the misplays from Ellie from time to time. But that is not something to rely on. Once again, we're having an extremely close set here. C-spin's coming out from Nara. Just sending immediately. He's gonna get the count to 4 into I-spin. They've run out of all-spin continuations that maintain surge, but Nara breaks as well. Nara gets that mech-esque sequence. And they are now at match point. Ellie's gonna have to win a perfect 3 rounds straight if they want this set. They're gonna decline the TST Tower follow-up. Ellie might be taking this a little bit more seriously. To what avail, we will find out shortly. But both players are really starting to build up the surge. Ellie fires first, forcing Nara to break on the defense. So Ellie is able to cycle to another surge threshold. And Ellie's just gonna play for the mini surges this round. With the amount of all spins Ellie knows how to fire off, it only makes sense that the mini surge is such a good win condition. And it's very excellently played round from Ellie. Nara as well, but they just did end up getting out-pressured in the end. Oh no, that's not a wall. The 180 TSS doesn't exist there for Ellie. Not the open you want to see when you're at the deficit of match point. But Nara's greeting way too hard for the surge. And Ellie's gonna take us to a tiebreaker. Truly neck and neck to the very end. Ellie coming in with momentum. Nara not having the immediate well access, being forced to sacrifice the surge. Ellie sacrifices as well. Nara has a lot of usable material right now. Ellie's gonna have to do some cycling if they want to survive. Nara has the surge advantage. But the board state just isn't looking good to leverage it. Ellie doesn't have any kill pressure at the moment. Trying to get a sneaky insta-force surge here, but Nara's able to survive with sheer speed. Any slower and they would have topped out. Really leveraging the travel time there. Both players just playing to the utmost safety in this moment. Nara doesn't have a good board state, able to find the T-spin for the required canceling amount. Both players now in the clear. Nara has some usable material, but it's all going to be used for canceling. Ellie's found the surge advantage, once again cycling the mini. Nara only has one actual well in this entire board. Misdrops the eyepiece, so any advantage they wanted to press is now gone. Ellie's up to shenanigans, cycling another force surge. And Nara just has so much cheese in their board. Ellie's win condition is coming to fruition. But it's still not enough! Ellie's misdropping. Nara has an opportunity, finding the T-piece exactly when they need to. Getting the 13 spike, now starting to put some cheese onto Ellie's board. Ellie is able to access their well, finding the 11, but Nara finally had some clean on their board. This is exactly what they've been looking for, finding the 26 spike, but it's still not enough. One of the most intense tiebreaker rounds I've ever seen. Neither player in any immediate danger, but Nara once again has so much material to work with. Ellie able to get to their well, so they're not in any immediate danger either. One of these players is going to find a breakaway, and at this point, I'm scared that it's going to be a misdrop that decides it all. Ellie's able to find the surges. 26 spike. Oh my, Nara within a single line of living and dying. Able to find the cycle. Ellie does not have a surge at the ready. There is no break. Gravity margin time is so deep right now, approaching attack margin time. Ellie has another mini surge cycling. Not gonna get to the point of absolute clean, they're gonna play careful. They have such a large well, has a count to 4 as well, not able to find the force surge, so they're gonna be fine. Nara's the one with usable material now. 3-minute mark is upon us. Oh no, very bad board state for Ellie, but they're able to find the full down stack. Nara really struggling to keep the well open. But it is a choice that is rewarded with their life. But once again, it is going to be a misdrop that decides it all. Ellie is able to play the 3 rounds perfectly. And the comeback story is indeed real. Very well played to both players. An explosive round to end it on. And Ellie will be moving on to winners finals. We'll be seeing more of Nara in losers. Not gonna lie, I kind of want to see that rematch, because some of those rounds just went insane. It's actually scary what Ellie is capable of when they lock in. Putting the shenanigans away, just so much outcycle potential. And Nara was still able to match it for most of it. Okay, I didn't even look at that. I hope that's a natural code. There's no shot. That's really funny. We are preparing our next match. Once again, very close. Seed 7 versus 8. Close stats as well. Exactly the same PPS. So gaming does technically have the efficiency advantage here. But I wonder how that will reflect in the playstyles. I'm just gonna say it now. If I see 26 do a 26 spike, I'm putting my hands in the air absolute cinema. You know the drill. Get it twisted. Wojak pointing at the screen. But our players have made it into the lobby. And we are going to be getting a warm-up. Alright, we are going to see TKIs from both players. And oh my, that is an extremely fast start from Gaming. And they're gonna be rewarded with quite the surge lead as well. 26 not able to find a count to 4 there, which might have actually been required pressure if it hadn't been for the amount of clean that they've been getting exactly where they wanted to. Gaming has a lot of clean on their board as well. Gonna opt for overhangless here. If that was a good play, we're about to find out. Will they be rewarded? Getting an amazing forecast online as well. Setting the 21 spike. 26 within a line of living and dying. Able to find the survival. Now going to be on cycle duty. Both of these players playing to mutually assert destruction win conditions. Gaming covering their well by quite a bit, but they're able to cycle every piece they need. Now it's going to be 26. They do not have the leisure of well access. And Gaming's going to take that warm-up. Now the averages are even, but if Gaming is able to open TKI like that, I'm terrified what happens when they try some shenanigans. We're definitely going to be seeing a lot of catching off guard. Aww. Nara forfeit. We're not getting rematch. Shambles. You hate to see it. One of our players already. And it's time to begin. TKI coming out from Gaming. On the opposite side, considerably slower, but they're going to go into LST here. Not having the exact pieces they were looking for, but they are going to waste Eye for the count to 4. 26 does get the garbage in column 7, the single line. So they're able to leverage it up to the 4 surge threshold. Very important. But oh no, that well coverage! Only bad news from there. And Gaming is going to take a point for that. Is this actually a rare TKI main in the year of our Lord 2025? I am excited to see this. We're going to be seeing no shenanigans in opener. Just raw T-spins. You're going to have the surge lead as well. Up to 14, but 26 isn't in any real danger considering their board state. As soon as I say that, they're actually in a situation where they don't have the access that they're looking for. But Gaming does not leverage that with the immediate spike. They're going to wait a little bit too long. Oh no, 26 doesn't have what they need. The eye piece is there, but there is no piece that goes left. And Gaming's just running away with the surge advantage. If they're able to convert it to points more, then it's going to be a hard hill for 26 to climb. War Surge comes out. Gaming broke it immediately. 26 waited a little bit, but still broke it at 4. And Gaming's going to be cycling the mini surges now. Getting to a 7, 19 spike. 26 going for max multiplier. 26 seems to cover their well quite a concerning amount. They're just gonna have to be mindful of when they do it, because sometimes it is valuable. If you're able to continue a pressure lead by doing so, by all means. But one misread, and that could be it. 6 surge from 26. Gaming does get the T-piece to switch around their dependency. No player able to cycle a surge just yet. 26 is attempting to, finding the 5, not even necessary. And we're brought to a tie at 2-all. Alright, taking it into the STSD, into 6-3 from Gaming, into Fractal. 26 has a good board state as well. Uh-oh. 30 spike comes out from Gaming, extremely well played. Pulling out the 230's APM stat. Gaming really just looking to leverage these early pressure leads that they're able to get so consistently. And oh, the L-piece misdrop clipping the spawn. Unfortunate moment for 26. But there seems to be a trend happening right now. Gaming takes 2, 26 takes 2. And 26 is definitely going to want that trend to continue for now. High spin single from Gaming. They are able to find the multiplier, surviving the initial kill threat. 26 still has more pressure. Gaming has the eyepiece over the well, and 26 has taken the round. If they take a second, the prophecy remains. PCO mirror. Gaming is quicker to act on the all spins though, so they're gonna get the surge first. 26 doing some misdropping, and that eyepiece is not gonna spawn there. Once again, Gaming leveraging the early pressure lead and just running away with it. They found the win condition and they're playing to it. 26 having to do some pivoting upon receiving the garbage. But they're just at such an early surge deficit, they're gonna have to play extremely well. They have the well access for now. Gaming breaking with the follow-up spike. Getting the... I don't even know what to call that one. Not quite overhangless. But very cool ZST. But there's another very significant surge lead as well. And yeah, that was a forced double flat eye from 26. Not what you want to look for when you're on cycle duty. We are not going to see the 6-3 for 6-3. 26 is able to find their well access in probably the best way possible. Getting that force surge as well to put a little bit of cheese on Gaming's board, forcing them to make a decision. Once again, hitting the ZST. But this is probably the worst case scenario for 26 to be in. The 13 surge isn't even required for the kill shot. And Gaming just has so much momentum right now. Dare I say, they're gaming. They are going to miss the Z-spin though. Slowly trying to pivot around their board state. Able to maintain the surge somehow. Extremely nice solves. Getting the counter for as well. 26 gonna be on cycle duty, looking for that survival. Able to find the well access. But they are still not out of the woods yet. They still have not circumvented the surge disadvantage. O-piece over the well at the worst possible time. Gaming recognizing that, breaking their surge immediately with a 29. And the momentum continues chugging along. Gaming says no more 6-7. Wait, what the frick is this Godspeed? What did I just see from what? Okay, about no shenanigans. Homie just wants to prove me wrong. Gonna get the perfect counter for as well. 26, you can't let this happen. Oh no. Very unfortunate circumstances there. Not what you want to be misdropping against. But I'm sorry, did the freaking textbook TKI main just pull out Godspin? That is like the most like out of the blue thing I've ever seen. And I can't believe you got away with it. But 26 is doing very nice at cycling through these wells. But if they're not able to find a surge of their own, it's gonna be quite tough to find an actual lead here. Looking for well access, but the pieces just aren't in the cards. And Gaming's gonna find match point. Oh my, it's actually Godspin. they aren't able to fully build it here. But it's insane that that's just real. In the big 25, I'm seeing Godspin. Very pleasant surprise. But 26 has finally gotten the surgery that they've been looking for. They've got it at 10. Breaking it with a pretty nice follow-up spike as well. Gaming greeting a little bit too hard there. And they are punished for it. 26 now in a position where we have to sweep an entire Tetra League set in order to take this tournament set. Very scary situation to be in losers. But that's just what needs to be done. (26) has a lot of cheese on their board. They're gonna have to cycle like a mad lad. But it is simply not possible. And Gaming is able to take that set and move on. I think my favorite part is when Gaming said it's gaming time and then gaminged all over the place. Alright, next matchup preparing. Fuzzy-san versus Yoshi. Or is this Ryoshi? Wait. Okay, it is Ryoshi. And from just a stats point of view, Ryoshi does have quite the mountain to climb. But definitely no better than to count somebody out on a matchup screen. Upsets happen. Indeed, anything is possible. One of our players has entered the lobby. Alright, determining if we want to see a warm-up. Alright, we're going in with no warm-up. Alright, PCO's coming out from Ryoshi. We are going to see the sportsmanship waiting to make sure that Fuzzy's okay before continuing to play. Love to see that. And Fuzzy's going to get the well in a really good spot for you. Ryoshi's actually in an interesting board state. They have a lot of options available to them. They're going to think it through pretty hard. Take it extremely simple, finding the Force Surge, exactly what you want to see. And oh my, the greed almost paid off with the donation. But unfortunately, that misdrop is going to be not what you want to see. 15 to 16 Surge deficit. Going to be on extreme cycle duty. But it's simply not possible. The Fuzzy pressure is just too strong. Baby Shape is coming out from Fuzzy. Upgrading it to a TSD. And just doing a lot of all-spins to just completely take this Surge lead out of proportion. Just an extremely clean route from Fuzzy. Pressure too strong for Ryoshi. ET Cannon from Ryoshi. Base opener pick, and they get the well exactly where they want to for the C-spin. Gets the counter for as well. Fuzzy in a not good spot at all. They are able to cycle to the eyepiece, counting the 4 to make sure it's a quad. Overhangless! Singling over it. And just doing some overall all-spin shenanigans. Able to convert it into a round win. Fuzzy not able to find the eye spin. Gonna need to do some pivoting. Ryoshi's thinking really hard about how they want to take this board state. Think they're looking at a C-spin here. Extremely dependent setup, but has very high reward. Fuzzy's trying to build a C-spin of their own, but not quite able to find it. Oh, Fuzzy is greeting for these all-spins. No surge available, just going for the love of the game. You'll love to see it. C-spin coming out from Yoshi, deciding to bail for the all-spin. A little bit of shapey shape action. Upgrading it to the TSD in that situation is ludicrous. And they are going to get punished for it, but you gotta love to see the greed from time to time. But this is insane momentum from Fuzzy here. Trying to keep it for as long as possible. Getting a little bit of mech shape going. Snowy is able to find the Force Surge threshold, sending it immediately, forcing Fuzzy to make some decisions. Fuzzy's gonna send it as a 15 with no follow-up in sight. Ryoshi is gonna have all the time in the world to cycle as far down as their heart desires. And that is going to be the first point on the board. Momentum stopped. Looking to convert this into a reversal. Fuzzy is going to be PCO into all-spin. They've been able to get some pretty ridiculous surge leads with it, so it only makes sense. Oh, that's just straight up mechanical heart. They are going to have to break it in favor of a more traditional board state. Very loose definition of the word traditional there. Ryoshi is able to find the Force Surge. Very nice surge break. They had the pre-spike as well. Priming it with really good timing. And the reversal is 100% in the cards. But he's going for SDPC spin. Ryoshi keeping it simple, has the 2-7. Looking for the fractal, deciding not to be greedy here. But the T-piece comes too early. Gonna decline the overhangless for Force Surge. Hopefully that pressure difference doesn't matter that much. Fuzzy is able to find their own surge. Fuzzy's doing some all-spin shenanigans, but they are going to be forced to break by Ryoshi's very excellently timed pressure. But that's a lot of material on Fuzzy's board. She has so many options. Deciding to just break it all down immediately. Oh no, too greedy from Fuzzy. Had to hit the Jets for the IP cycle. But thinking a little bit too hard. And Ryoshi does have real momentum here. DT Cannon. Taking it into the C-spin follow-up. Classic. Oh no. Not a good misdrop. Able to recover the C-spin. But it's gonna be used on mostly canceling. Fuzzy's not gonna make the same mistake twice. Not gonna get greedy with their surge high up in the board. As a Shapey Shape for more surge. Even surges, but Ryoshi's gonna break first. Both players have quite the cheesy board state underneath their man-made stacks. Fuzzy's looking for pure downstack. Able to get it to a manageable spot before misdropping once again. And all it takes is one. Ryoshi has tied it at 4-all. I think that was a misdrop conversion from Fuzzy. Very nice way to turn it around. Into Shapey Shape, my beloved. Once again, getting a little bit too greedy, forced to use the eyepiece over the well, and another misdrop will be nailed in the coffin. Ryoshi has fully reversed it, able to take the lead within this 1 point burst. And Fuzzy's gonna hit the Jets with the SDPC spin, taking it into a 6-3. Ryoshi has a relatively clean man-made stack, where they're gonna have to start making some decisions as they're pushed higher up. And they're just gonna make sure that the end of their spike is cheese, so now Fuzzy just has so much to deal with. Gonna be looking for pure downstack. Pressure isn't even a consideration here. And to optimal avail as well. Ryoshi is able to find the Force Surge. Breaking it at 6. Fuzzy just barely able to survive within a single line of doing so. Fuzzy once again pushed to a line of living or dying. Mutual surges from the players. Ryoshi has so much material on their end, but they're not able to convert it into a kill spike. Fuzzy's got the 7-2 stack online. Looking to get it clean. Insane overhangless attempt. It is going to force the surge break, and this might be what Ryoshi's been looking for this round. Able to find the force surge, so they're not going to be behind on the pressure. And Fuzzy's going to get the well opposite of what they were looking for, but with some very exquisite solves, they're able to convert it exactly as they would wish to. Ryoshi downstacking at a very crucial time, but now they're going to be on cycle duty. If they don't find the IP soon, it could be a problem. But Fuzzy breaks the surge with no follow-up. And Ryoshi will live to tell the tale. But now Fuzzy might actually have some kill pressure here. Ryoshi's going to have to make some decisions and make them fast. Eyepiece on the right side. Unfortunately, you were dependent over on the left side. It was kind of just no good option there. And Fuzzy is able to stop the momentum and take a point. After 5 points in a row from Ryoshi, Fuzzy is finally able to respond, looking to reconvert this into the momentum they once lost. Ryoshi misdrops, but they just end up breaking the Force Surge. Not able to find it here. So they aren't able to force Fuzzy to break at an inopportune time. But once again, Fuzzy gets such a nice surge lead, but no follow-up means no kill shot. Oh, what is that greed from Fuzzy? There's no way you get away with it, right? She's out of there. Oh my goodness. Never punished. And Ryoshi in almost an equally devastating position, able to find his way out as well. Fuzzy has the surge lead, but once again, not able to find an adequate follow-up. So Ryoshi's gonna live to tell the tale. Ryoshi is going to be stuck in the fossil fuel stacking, though. The dreaded 1-8. No efficiency to be found here. Ryoshi is gonna find the well. Gets a nice donation as well to access the next well. Well. And the 11 surge is unutilized from Fuzzy. What even is Cycle Duty? When you're high enough in the board, you have only one option, and it's to cycle more eyepieces. That's what that means. Pretty much just extreme disadvantage. Easily convertible, but... Or I guess not easily, but... Stop the end if you're able to find it. But welcome in, Ami! Thank you for the raid. Ryoshi able to find the 6 surge. Gonna gain well access with a T-spin. Fuzzy has a lot of cheese to deal with. Oh no, Ryoshi doesn't have a wall! They have to compromise, and the surge isn't enough to cancel. I don't want to hear it, chat. It's the other way around. Don't say it. DT cannon's coming out from Ryoshi. Not gonna get too greedy with the counting. Fuzzy, on the other hand, the complete antithesis of what I just said for Ryoshi, and they are gonna get away with it. 33 spike, tying it up at 7-all. Fuzzy currently looking for pure downstack. They finally got to a comfortable 7-2. Ryoshi doesn't have many options. And Fuzzy's finally gonna take the lead back. Gonna see the PCO mirror. Fuzzy has shown capabilities to go crazy with the all spins after PCO. Already we see them at a significant surge lead, but the misdrops make it unleverageable. And Ryoshi's gonna tie this right back up at 8-all. Fuzzy's doing some misdropping off the get-go. Ryoshi too low on the board to find kill pressure, but they are gonna find the 4 surge. Fuzzy's not out of the woods yet. No surge of their own, so there's no canceling to be found. Ryoshi within 2 rounds of a set win. But they are still neck and neck. Fuzzy going for the SDPC spin. And they're not even going to wait to tank. They have the surge lead, but it's going to be forced to break immediately. Ryoshi finds the singular out. It's gonna allow them to live. Fuzzy doing some counting. But once again, Fuzzy's in a situation where they have to make decisions, not allowed to be greedy. And as I say that, the max multiplier 35 spike. What a way to tie it back. And the set has turned into the opposite of what it started with. players just running away with insane momentum strides. And now we're just gonna see the true back and forth as intended. And Fuzzy, once again, in a situation where they have an insane surge lead, but if they're not able to find a follow-up, it might not be able to find the kill. Luckily for Fuzzy, Ryoshi didn't have adequate canceling at the moment. So this will be match point. It's been looking dicey for the majority of this set, but Fuzzy's in a situation where they can finally close it out. Just when it actually matters. At a Cirque Surge, greeting to keep it. Gonna be forced to compromise. Ryoshi looking for wall access, able to find it. Has the eye flat, extremely greedy play. And oh, the S misdrop! Able to find the initial survival, but not find enough to find the second. And Fuzzy is going to take the set. At a deficit for almost the entirety of the set, able to come back and close it out at the end. Very well played from both players. Reminder that I'm pretty sure that was a 1000 TR gap of a matchup. So extremely well played from Ryoshi to even take it that far. A reminder to why you don't count somebody out on a matchup screen. Alright, it's time for Limit versus Gaming. Both of these players have been absolutely slagging out in this bracket. So I am excited to see the actual matchup happen. If Gaming actually pulls out a Godspin and gets away with it against against Limit of all players, I might just lose it. We will be starting our matchup. Combatants are set. Gaming with the 5 PPS TKI this time, taking it into STSD. A little bit of finesse error on their follow-up. Limit not in any imminent danger. Limit is definitely a player who knows their limits. Is very aware of when tanking is a good idea. But oh, they just did not have a good cue there for what they were trying to do. And Gaming with an explosive round start. Or a set start to get the round win. The Fairy Cannon's coming out from Limit, taking this into the TST Tower follow-up. Once again, reminder that these players have been swagging it out this entire bracket. Counting is just a suggestion to Limit here. And they're going to be rewarded with quite the pressure lead. Oh no, slight misplay from Gaming to close off the well there. And that's all Limit needs. Tied up at 1-all. Left side TKI from Gaming here. This has been consistently the slower side. But oh my goodness, that sequence from Gaming, even able to find the effortless I-spin single. They were forced to break Surge eventually, but the fact that they even maintained it for that long in that situation is... it was just amazing to watch. And Limit's just keeping this extremely clean, trying to maintain a neutral board state for as long as possible. Ooh, that is not a good eyepiece misdrop, but they're able to re-access the well. Able to cycle all the way down the max multiplier for the 4-combo quad. Misdrops the T-piece, just misdrop after misdrop. And Gaming is able to leverage that into a round win. Fairy Cannon coming out once again from Limit. Gaming just finding some all spins, trying to get a surge lead. Limit has tanked only clean thus far. Gonna force Gaming to make some decisions. Oh no, the eyepiece over the well from Limit. A lot of cycling is required. Has the eyepiece in hand. And the down stack was so fast that it's able to just continue the spike counter. It's not often you see that on a pure down stack, something that's not a premeditated like multiplier spike. Very awesome to see. That is an insane tank from Gaming. It is a miracle that you survived that, but you are rewarded with such a pressure lead. Surge not necessary. And yet another round win. Now, despite being, I believe, an almost 500 TR difference, the stats are relatively equal. That's being put on full display here. Gaming just striding to their heart's content. Unfortunately, not able to get the fractal they were trying to set up, and the eyepiece does not spawn. The momentum has ceased. Side ties? Okay, Limit. You can't keep getting away with this. The Limit is at the floor, so they are allowed to all spin to their heart's content. Unfortunate T-piece misdrop. Gonna misdrop it again, but they're gonna somehow be rewarded with a fractal that they're gonna choose to bail on for the sake of preserving a neutral board state. That's always gonna be Limit's priority. Gaming able to find the Force Surge. And they're really speeding up now. Just look at that number climb. Eyepiece over the well from Limit. And when Gaming finds their stride, they just start to go crazy with it. To a point where it seems that only misdrops can really stop it. Very nice timing from Limit. Gonna force Gaming to break their surge. Gaming getting a very greedy count into an O donation. Being forced to break the surge now. Sending Limit an adequate amount of cheese. Gaming deciding to take the ZST there and it actually being optimal. You love to see that kind of vision. Limit has a lot of pressure man-made, but now they've made it to their cheese. Cheese is now gone. Very nice downstacking. Is this the so-called Gyan fundamentals? Maybe. Almost a mythical term in this community. Oh no! You know exactly the kind of downstack that Limit was going for there. But they're still able to find the out. Gaming not having the pressure when they needed it. The kill is no longer there. Now having to do their own downstack, and Limit just able to leverage their material immediately. Limit's timing has just been very good throughout this entire event. But they're gonna need a little bit more for these set wins. Once again, very good timing. Ends up completely mitigating the surge deficit. And now Limit has options here. Just gonna choose to keep it clean. Gaming not able to find the Force Surge, or rather choosing not to, as it was an extremely greedy option. Gaming is going to be going for the count, but a misdrop is going to force the Surge to break. And this is the power of an actual follow-up after the Surge. The second Limit breaks, they just have such a nice downstack spike afterwards. More than enough to find a kill. And Limit has converted this into real momentum, taking multiple rounds in a row. But the misdrops are still rampant. The misdrops are still rampant! Eyepiece at the worst possible spot. Now having to deal with a 10 Surge deficit. Gonna be struggling to find well access. Gets their first eyepiece. Gonna need more. Finds the second, and Limit is now in the clear. Gaming has a lot of material to work with. Not able to keep the Surge. But it is a worthy sacrifice, and it is required to make sure they are surviving this encounter. I'm just gonna take this into a mini 6-3. Once again, amazing downstack spike with the Surge. And that's gonna force Gaming into a very bad spot. But what a multiplier spike from Gaming. It's gonna be used entirely on canceling, but it was a requirement. Finding the singular out there. So now Limit's gonna have to work a little bit harder to find another kill opportunity. But with these amazing counts, once again, the second the Surge breaks, the downstack spike is immediate. The constant mini Surge cycling is just elite from Limit thus far. And they are being rewarded with more and more round wins. Gaming might be forced to adapt soon, as if they are not being allowed to get their stride, that is their main win condition offline. TKIs from the players. Gaming's gonna find a TST out of it. Very interesting decisions from Gaming there, but it is going to cost a Surge break to do so. Limit is going to be fighting some Surge in their downstack. Finding a TST as well, just keeping it efficient. The dual function downstack. And now Gaming has so much material. Trying to leverage it, thinking a little bit too hard, but the kill is already out there. Gaming has finally stopped the momentum of Limit. Only a 1 score difference. Okay, if Limit actually went for the Fractal there, I would have lost it. But Gaming has a Surge lead. Getting it up to 10. Able to convert their well to what was needed very well. But Limit is amazing with the timing, gonna force that Surge break. And now Limit's actually starting to hit the jets. We're gonna see that speed start to pick up. The moment Limit has an opportunity, they're gonna go for it. And yeah, I think that was from sub 3 to 3.4 within like 10 seconds. Ridiculous burst from Limit. Very early tanks from Limit. Gonna hedge the option of the TKI shenanigans that Gaming is known for. They don't want to be caught at too much of a pressure disadvantage. Gaming able to find the well. Getting some all spins in here. As a Surge, able to find the TST. And Gaming has a Surge break into downstack of their own. And that is going to reward them with a round win. You see it, I'm not going to say it. Oh my, this well on Limit's side is completely useless right now because of those misdrops. Any advantage Limit could have gotten is now gone. But Gaming is making some very interesting plays, playing with their life, but that 27 spike is going to be enough to find a kill. Some of the greediest tanks known to mankind. And with great risk comes great reward. I'm sorry, did they just bail out of the C-spec? I'm not too sure what to describe, what sequence Gaming just went for. Unfortunately, they are not going to be rewarded with a round win for it, but it looked hype. Alright, Limit's gonna take a PC. Is this the first PC we've seen of this entire, like, streamed bracket? And that was 3.6 PPS from Limit. It's not often that Limit is going to take a round through sheer stride, but it's a welcome surprise every time. And we're just seeing the spike counters mutually rise. Gaming at an extremely dependent board state, gonna be forced to break the surge. Some mech shape happening from Gaming. Gonna decide against covering the well. Very excellent decision making from Gaming. Trying to leverage the surge spike with the pre-pressure, and oh, Limit dies to a JP's misdrop. You absolutely hate to see it. And Gaming's gonna keep it close. Gaming just severely outperforming their seed throughout this bracket. Trying to take it even farther. Shapey Shapes coming out from Limit. Getting it to the 5 surge. Choosing against the counter 4 because they have something better. The TSD donation over it. But it's not going to be enough to find a kill. If Gaming's able to access this well, this could be a pretty nice stride for them. But Limit is going to keep Gaming on their toes. Most of this is being used for canceling. But Limit is not able to continue with the surge advantage. So Gaming has completely usurped the opportunity. Surge break into down stack spike. A classic maneuver. Always effective. Getting that eyepiece just barely in time. Not able to find a 4 surge. Limit into the 6-3. It's always scary when you see a top player in 6-3. And yeah, that's all that it's gonna take. We've made it to match point. Gaming is gonna have to take 3 perfect rounds in order to take the set win. But we saw Ellie do it once. Maybe Gaming can carry the flame. Oh no, with these misdrops, it's not looking very doable. Limit's misdropping as well, so the pressure isn't there. Gaming has the opportunity of a lifetime. And with your second win, you will take this round. Actually just leaped on the opportunity with very little hesitation. Gaming is still in this set. Limit not quite able to find the multiplier there, but that might have actually been better, as Gaming didn't have the immediate clean to work with. But now Gaming has to do some cycling, able to get the first eyepiece in time, gonna need more! Limit's looking for kill pressure, but they don't have a surge to release. Ooh, Gaming had to use the eyepiece on a non-quad. And Limit is able to take it through sheer out pressure. Very close game in terms of the line sent and received as well. Very well played from both players. Gaming, truly Gaming, making it really far in this bracket. But now it is time... Wait, actually, what matchup are we doing first? Alright, we're gonna be going up to the upper bracket now. Vex versus Ellie. Our seed 1 and 2 matchup, just like we drew it up. Can we get some W's in chat for the seeder? No is crazy. Players making it into the lobby. Now, Ellie has been up to some shenanigans over their tournament run. I would not be surprised if we see more, and they might get away with it if Vex still hasn't locked in. One of these players has momentum going into this, and I would really like to be wrong. Both players are going to decline the warm-up. Straight into the action. Good luck, have fun's come out. Alright. MS2 from Vex. I think that was a fairy cannon from Ellie. Uh-oh. Not a good situation to be in if you're Vex, and that was an extremely quick first round for Ellie. Absolutely speed ran that one. Definitely gonna be a wake-up call for Vex. Gonna have to play a little bit more careful. Speaking of playing careful, that's a situation that Ellie needs to learn from as well. It can happen to anyone. Getting it too high for comfort. The 26 spike comes out, but it's not going to be enough. PC parity was there, but not in the queue. Vex able to get to low enough to not worry about damage for now. Getting a nice overhangless into count to 4. Some more all spins into the floor. Ellie's got the surge break into down stack spike. Able to find the 4 surge before popping. And it's just been very clean from both players. As soon as I say that, Vex is going to misdrop an S-piece. Ellie taking note of that and sending the kill spike immediately after. And yeah, Ellie has maintained their momentum from the previous set. Vex is definitely going to have to lock in. And it looks like this is a pretty promising start. A 4.5 startup. Very clean thus far, but now being forced to make some decisions. A very unfavorable queue. Able to find max multiplier. Ellie's thinking about a TSG tower. No, you can't do that. Very nice pivot. The misdrops aren't looking good. Able to find the well access in time to survive. Gonna pivot around the quad first. Making sure that they're able to take a route that maintains their surge. Ellie's probably gonna have to use this on defense though. Most of it is going to be cancelled. Ellie's gonna find the 4 surge first. Vexury not too far behind. Gonna be on the floor. Gonna have all the time in the world to do some all spin shenanigans. Has the eye spin, but it's not gonna clear a line, so the surge is now in Ellie's favor. 22 spike comes out. No well access required. And Ellie is maintaining the momentum 3 rounds in a row. Vexry's gonna need to pull out all the stops if they want to even get a point on the board right now. Ellie has truly found a stride. And Ellie's just gonna wait so long before fighting this PC. A rare moment of leveraging the opener phase canceling bonus. Always love to see when these, I guess, more obscure features are actually toyed with. And Ellie, unfortunately, not having the S-piece first to leverage the Shapey Shape with Surge, but they are able to at least survive the initial pressure, but there is more where that came from, and Vexry is now on the board. Ellie learning a lesson of making too many Q-dependent setups at once. Does have this Fairy Cannon at the ready, taking it into a mini mech shape. Has the TST, oh my goodness, what is that extension? Ellie, there is no shot you're getting away with this. Mutual surges at 9. Vexry doing some all spins to make sure they have the advantage. Very nice forecast. Oh my god. Is that like 4 forecasts in a row from Vex? Absolutely styling right now. Another cut copy into the 6-3. This is the last thing you want to see if you're Ellie. Column 7 well. Able to maintain it. Setting the 47 spike. Ellie has to do so much cycling. To no avail. Like, Vex just completely cooked that round, for lack of a better term. Ellie played it well as well, but there's just not that much you can do at such a high surge deficit. Especially when that column 7 garbage comes into play. Really surprisingly not taking the L-spin there. But now they're going to be forced into pure downstacking. Vex is doing some work cooking. Maintaining 3.8 constant and climbing, actually. And Ellie's getting a little bit of deja vu. They've been in this situation before and it didn't look good. 19 spike from Vex. They did not have the downstack spike to follow it up, so it's gonna send nothing. Ellie's able to send all the material right back at Vex and take a round for it. Crisis averted. TKIs come out from both players. Different routes, though. Vex is going to be the first to a force surge. Ellie not too far behind. Ellie taking the S-spin triple with the overhang. A surprisingly rare sight in the Tetrio scene. Once again, Vex able to get to a 15 surge, but without the downstack spike to combo with it. Ellie's just completely fine. Ellie finds the 4 surge threshold. So we're able to not take any damage on the last encounter. But they don't have any more stall placements, and Vex is going to convert this into a round win. Players neck and neck, only a 1 score differential. Ellie's trying to maintain 6-3 for as long as possible. As a very nice count to the other side. I think they were thinking about STSD, but just did not have the correct height for it. And once again, Ellie is in a post-15 surge deficit. Vex does not have the downstack follow-up, so the surge is going to come to no avail. Both players at the surge. Vex not at a good board state, though. Most of this isn't going to be clean. Getting the I-spin triple for style points. Vex trying to do some more surge leveraging, but they're not going to get greedy this time. If you're not going to have a downstack spike, might as well just break it early. Make sure you get some cheese on the board. Ellie has no cheese on the board right now, but at the same time, there's no stall placements either, and Vexry's going to tie this at 4-all. And this is going to be a 5 pieces per second opener from Ellie. TST at the ready. And they're gonna get all the pieces they want when trying to leverage the surge spike with the pre-pressure this time. But now they're gonna find themselves at another 15 surge deficit and counting. Ellie sends it over as a 27, but Vexry didn't have to cancel at all, so this surge is coming in uninterrupted. No amount of follow-up is necessary. Ellie is going to suffer the top out here. Ellie in disbelief in the chat of what they've just had to deal with. Vex is truly locked in right now. The fact that they are able to consistently leverage these insane surge leads is ridiculous. Just finding the L-spin triple just for the funnies. Just for kicks. Ellie not able to cycle in time. And Vex now has a 2-point lead for the first time in this set. This is not momentum Ellie wants to see. Unfortunately, not able to find the RNG quad PC. But now they are extremely dependent on the T-piece. Somehow able to cycle, I think that was 4 pieces within travel time. Ridiculous burst. Rewarded with the survival. Vex struggling with the all-spin finesse. Gonna be forced to break that surge on defense. Ellie has a kill shot, and they're going to leverage immediately. Brought up to 6-5, back at a 1 score difference. Keeping this game close. C-spin opener comes out from Vex. Trying to get this to a counter for. The well has been transferred successfully. Getting some floats in here just for style points. But Ellie's going to be the one at the surge advantage this time. If they're able to maintain it, it's not going to be necessary. Oh no, you can't put that O piece there. Not having the awareness of the pressure that their opponent is cooking, Ellie is going to suffer the top out there. Vex going to maintain the 2-point lead. Fairy Cannon into TST Tower from Ellie. Getting to the 4 surge, breaking immediately, not going to get greedy with it. Six surge and counting from Vex, with no sign of stopping anytime soon. Ellie's gonna have to make some decisions! And they have made the correct one! Spiking Vex with no opportunity for canceling. Completely off guard. Vexry trying to do some counting, but didn't have the Q in order to do so. Gonna have to pivot to a much less favorable board state. Does have the quad for the initial cancel. Gonna need more than that. Ellie not able to find the surge threshold yet. And the second I say that, they're just gonna completely burst. They knew what the plan was. And we are tied at 7-all. Ellie is a player who just has the all-spin fundamentals to get these surge so quickly. So when Ellie is not getting greedy with the surges, that is one of the scariest situations to be in as an opponent of Ellie. Ellie just setting the 30 to 40 spike in extremely quick fashion. The sheer out pressure is going to be enough to secure the top out. Ellie's gonna be going for some more shenanigans, gonna take this into a mech shape. Very bad O-piece misdrop. So now Ellie's gonna have to make some decisions as to how they want to bring this back. And it seems to just not even be a possibility to begin with. We're back at 8-all. Fairy Cannon coming out once again from Ellie. Taking it into the TST tower. But Vex isn't sending that much clean this time, or at least they weren't intending to, but it all got received as clean anyway. Luckily for Vex, Ellie was misdropping, so the kill pressure was non-existent. And Ellie is making some very interesting decisions here. They are able to find the surge threshold, getting the surge break into downstack spike. And Vex isn't able to build a surge here. So now they're just going to be on the receiving end of so much pressure. Gonna have to cycle a lot just to survive. Survive they do, cycle they do. But once again, there's more that came from finding this 4 surge for more cycling.
And Vex has just been playing this extremely clean. Despite the amount of pressure Vex has just been receiving for this entire round, not for a second have they been threatened enough to get one-tapped. And as soon as I say that, they're gonna deal with an extremely terrible misdrop. And then they misdrop again! And there's no way out of that one. Ellie now within 2 points of match point. I mean, of a set win. Only a single point of match point. Reminder that Deuce is off, and Ellie did win the last tiebreaker. 27 spike comes in from Ellie. Vex within a single line of living and dying. Gonna have to find that out. And the out they will find. Ellie does not have the kill pressure required. Ellie is now in the 6-3, but they're not able to leverage it in the slightest. Vexry now able to start leveraging his surge lead, not gonna get too greedy with it. Just wants to guarantee the cheese on the board. Gonna cycle another one. This might be the big one that Vex is looking for, surging from the floor. And Vexry is not a victim of any finesse errors right now, just taking the speed to its absolute maximum. Both of these players definitely playing at peak right now. But the second that Ellie breaks, Vexry is not too far behind. The insta-chase is going to reward Vex with a round win, bringing us to 9-all. So many ties this game. A truly neck-and-neck matchup. Ellie's not able to find the Force Surge, but it's actually pretty inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. They have the eyepieces that they need. Insane TST tower! And they're gonna get away with it, not even close, dare I say. And this is the power of somebody who does not hesitate. If Ellie had waited for even a second on that TST tower decision, they would be a dead person right now. Ellie has the well, but that L-piece misdrop is gonna be a problem. Vexry now at match point. Ellie no longer has any room for error. SDPC spin from Vexry, not even gonna try to tank it. Just gonna go straight into the 6-3, trying to leverage a surge lead. They know where their well is at. 26, 28, 31 spike from Vexry. Ellie does have the initial cancel. More isn't required immediately. I'm seeing a lot of desync on my end. I'm really hoping that the stream isn't seeing a lot of desync too. But it's making things extremely hard to call out. Impossible even, because I'm at a freeze frame. Oh god. I think we might be seeing some desync canon right now. The fact that no player ended up receiving a kill spike caught off guard in that exchange is ridiculous. But Ellie being the one at the deficit is definitely gonna be rejoicing from not dealing with any of that. The surge break comes out from both players. Vex has to take a lot of cheese. With a pretty nice all-spin sequence, they're gonna take this into a 5 surge. And the misdrops from Ellie is gonna be nail in the coffin. And Vexry will be the player to advance. We will be seeing more of Vexry in our grand finals, and Ellie will be the boss waiting in losers. Truly immaculate set there. You just love to see the players start to just find their stride as the set progresses. No tilting, no amount of degradation here. Tilting where? Tilting nowhere.
Alright. It's warm-up time. Alright, Fuzzy gonna go straight into 6-3. And somehow just not breaking the 6-3 thus far. Able to find a nice 13 surge lead. Getting a pretty small down stack, so not able to leverage this into a kill. Now gonna have to deal with a little bit of cheese. Limit finding a pretty nice float here. Fighting the max multiplier as well. Fuzzy has a lot of cheese to deal with. And Fuzzy's able to find some efficiency in that cheese to get the surge. And it's actually going to be a requirement for canceling purposes. Finding every single out possible, but once again, emphasis on possible. The out pressure is too much, and Limit is going to take that warm-up. I'd say that's a definitely good warm-up for both players. Fuzzy got some down stack practice in, played some survival. And Limit got some stride warm-up. Both extremely important once we get into the actual set. SDPC spin attempt comes out from Fuzzy. Limit very interestingly just completely committed to the 9-0 there. And now they're going to have the misfortune of eating a 8-1 well? The game kind of doesn't like Limit right now. But Fuzzy isn't being done any favors either. Really looking for that Force Surge, but that is going to be the death of her. Limit is going to take that first point despite all odds. SDPC spin comes out from Fuzzy. This time it's gonna be successful. Not looking for the tank, looking for that surge lead leverage. But Limit's not too far behind on the surge either, but what they have done is misdrop, so now they're going to be forced to use their surge on the defense, not able to cycle to their required pieces in time. Even if they had, I feel like that board state just wasn't good enough to do anything afterwards anyway. But that will be a round win for Fuzzy, tied at 1-all. Shapey shape from Fuzzy, going into 6-3. Has a very significant surge lead here. Alright, some waiting. Fuzzy's gonna take the route that goes into Shapey Shape. But then do things on the wrong side. Very unfortunate. Some continued misdrops is going to force Fuzzy to compromise her board state a little bit, but the max multiplier is going to allow her to survive. Limit doing some very nice tanking. You already know that that break is ready. You see that slight pause, and you know exactly what's coming next. The counter spike of a lifetime. SDPC spin coming out once again from Fuzzy. Limit being very reserved with their TKIs. I think it might be some gaming flashbacks. Limit trying to find all of the cycling in the world. That's exactly what they're gonna get. Now into a pretty nice 7-2. Fuzzy had so much clean on their board, but just no eyepieces in sight. That is a 3-layer fractal from Limit. Every single T-piece in the queue, and Fuzzy shrugs it off. Able to
gain a surge lead out of that as well. Ridiculous situation to find yourself in a surge lead in. And it's not even necessary. Pure counter spike is all that was required to take that round win. Was he just trying to transfer their well? Trying not to be too greedy. Gets one more counter for it to make sure they get to this Force Surge. And Limit, once again, finding the max multiplier. Oh no, double misdrops from Limit. Gonna have to make a lot of decisions. A lot of cheese on the board as well, but with pure downstack vision, they're gonna be fine. They've got quite the well there. But they don't have the best board state to actually leverage the clean. 20 spike coming out from Fuzzy. Limit at the bottom of the board, no cancel material in sight. Is going to just get topped out right there. Tied at 3-all. TSD to Shapey Shape, the Fuzzy special. And a little bit of mech in there, and that is an actual 4-wide from Limit. And now they have a huge chunk of damage in their queue, dare I say deserved. Unfortunately, that is just not an option there. Limit really leveraging that opener phase. Have the option select of tanking and canceling in that early TKI. Fuzzy has a significant surge lead here. Trying to do some more counting to increase it further. Limit has a lot of clean on their board. Fuzzy's gonna receive most of it uninterrupted. Oh, that's not a misdrop you want to be seeing if you're Fuzzy right now. They are able to find the eyepiece, are able to find the survival, but now they're just going to be at a raw surge deficit. Limit's just going to stride the 6-3. Hesitating a little bit, trying to see if they can find a kill shot. Not quite. And now there's going to be no more pressure in sight. Limit is now the receiver of disadvantage. The situation has reversed itself. They have the cut copy. 2 TSDs and a quad. But it's still not enough. That is probably the best use case of 8-1 I have ever seen from Fuzzy. The perfect height to do shenanigans with. The full downstack in the surge break is all you're gonna need. I'm trying to leverage the man-made stack to the absolute maximum. Oh no, you can't do that, Fuzzy! The surge break was a requirement to live there. Slight misread. All it takes is one. Fuzzy's really leveraging these all spins. As the 8th surge, able to find their well as well. Fuzzy unfortunately hitting garbage in the worst spot imaginable. Tis but a scratch. Fuzzy is going to take the 6th point. Starting to actually amount a lead here. More than just the 1-point cushion. Oh no, misdrop TPs from Limit.
And Fuzzy has found actual momentum here. Limit's gonna have to lock in. They're gonna be dealing with the surges that they've been preparing for all set. Limit having a relatively neutral board state right now. Surge break into down sack, trying to get some cheese onto Fuzzy's board. But it's gonna be the misdrops that are Fuzzy's bane. And oh no, that is not an S-piece. Overhangless isn't real, but it's not gonna matter. Fuzzy's gonna find the initial survival. Looking for more. Oh no, Eyepiece doesn't spawn! Fuzzy had found the out and then plunged themselves right back into the depths. You hate to see it. We are going to see Fuzzy leveraging a lot of mech shape here. Limit getting the max multiplier. Ooh, that's a mishold. O-Piece is going to compromise their board state by quite a lot. Fuzzy's cooking with the all spins. Limit is able to find the cancels. That is going to be a pretty nice survival. And the Warriors are pretty much over. Not in any immediate danger. Has the Fractal online. Able to find the Stride. Catching Fuzzy completely off guard. One score difference. Ooh, that is not a good L-piece misdrop from Limit. Not even able to find the Force Surge for canceling. They're in a very bad board height. And Fuzzy is able to convert that into a kill. Very quick round. And I think for the first time in this entire streamed bracket, we have the other funny scoreline. Limit looking for the forward surge, not able to get it. It was required for cancels. And Fuzzy has just been running away with this momentum. Limit, now no room for error, has to take another 5 points in a row. It is 6 PPS open! Okay, they are gonna taper off to 5. I say taper off like 5 isn't good. Like, oh my goodness. Ridiculous startup. But to no avail! 26 spike from Fuzzy, and that's gonna catch Limit completely off guard. Limit definitely had to try a few gambles for that, but unfortunately, it just did not pay out. And Fuzzy will be moving on to our losers finals. Final boss Ellie is vibing here. Ellie, cease. Cease. By the end of this event, we might actually have 6 or 7 6-7s, bro. And 6 of those are gonna be Ellie. They've gotta be doing this on purpose. They gotta be. So remember earlier when I was saying no way seed 1 and 2, just how I drew it up, you know? Just how we drew it up? W's to the seeders? Well, Fuzzy has severely outperformed their seed here. 5 all the way up to a top 3 matchup. I think it's time to put some L's in the chat for the seeders this time, I'm sorry. Fuzzy is cooking.
Can they hear that? Oh, dang it. Ramblings of an insane person. Makes it worse because I'm wearing all white right now. GG's. Waiting for our players to enter. Alright. Going straight into the real set. No more procrastination. Fuzzy doing a little bit of wiggling of that TVs. Being a little bit silly to start our set, love to see it. But we have two pretty good all spinners. I say pretty good as if they're not like actually top all spinners. So this is going to be an extremely interesting dynamic to watch unfold. Who will be the monarch of mini surges? Will we even see a big surge? So far it's been all minis. Hey, that's the name of the thing. But both players are just playing extremely safe right now, just testing the waters for the round one. We're gonna see somebody push something eventually. Fuzzy has a lot of cheese on her board. Ellie has a lot of material. Gonna choose to cancel upon seeing that it's mostly cheese they would be accepting. They had the option select ready though. Gotta appreciate the effort. Ellie? Okay, there we go! 26 spike coming out from Fuzzy, most of it being cheese ending up on Ellie's board. The overhang was for one. Fuzzy! Why do you see that? Why is it cool? And now we're gonna see a pretty big surge here. 22. The down stack lagging a little bit behind. Ellie's able to find the quad for canceling. That is an extremely greedy all-spin sequence from Ellie, but it's gonna pay out with dividends. That was truly one of the round ones of all time, but it is going to go in Ellie's favor. I get so confused every time I see Ellie do that. Are they really gambling on the quad PC? Or is there shenanigans that happen after? I mean, it's Ellie, so it's always going to be shenanigans, but... how rehearsed are the shenanigans? Oh my... dog. Just holding the PC over our heads. I think that answers our question. I think Ellie might have actually just been gambling for the PC every time they have done that build. But now, the extreme surge deficit is going to be out of Ellie's favor. The 23 spike comes out from Fuzzy, but with no downstack follow-up, it's going to be to no avail, no kill shot in sight. .32 spike comes out from Ellie! Casual 1 APP from Ellie. 2.1 PPS. 130 APM. This game chat is killing me. My goodness. Ellie gonna get the count to 4. Able to take a route to where they're able to maintain the T-spin as well. But they're waiting quite a while. They're allowing Fuzzy to regain a lot of ground. Ooh, that TP's misdrop, not a good time. But Fuzzy misdropped as well. Oh my, Fuzzy just doesn't even want to play that. They see the amount of pressure that Ellie has access to. No confidence in the ability to downstack the man-made cheese. What are we doing? Excellent question. We're just trying to level it. He has a pretty nice counter 4 here. Getting a lot of donation forecasts. Has the 9 surge, 10, 11, and counting. Unfortunately, doesn't have the PC. Gonna greed for it a little bit. Just trying to hedge the option. Ellie. Okay. They're gonna make sure it cancels. A little bit too high for comfort to just go for a raw send. Understandable. Yeah, not a good time for Fuzzy. Ellie has been taking the momentum from round 1. 4 points in a row. A lot of these rounds have been due to Fuzzy misdrops, though. So she is going to have to lock in. They are able to deny Ellie the 4 surge. So Fuzzy could actually build a pretty nice lead here. Gonna choose to just prioritize the board state. Never a bad play. Ellie out the 10 surge. Made it to the floor, and now this is where the real shenanigans are gonna start. You already see that speed up start. Ellie at 17. Fuzzy at an extremely nice board state. But if Ellie's able to find the downstack spike with the surge, the board state of Fuzzy might not even matter in the grand scheme of things. Fuzzy's finally able to start building a surge of her own, but is it going to matter? We're about to find out. Building the Imperial Cross, that's way too greedy! And the 28 surge isn't even necessary. Ellie with their 5th point in a row. Cooking with a red-hot surge at the end of that round. C-spins coming out from Fuzzy. TST towers coming out from Ellie. Ellie's doing some all-spin shenanigans, trying not to send Fuzzy too much damage, which is a very interesting play here, as Fuzzy's already very high in the board. But Ellie will be rewarded with a 15 and counting surge lead. Ellie will be breaking with no follow-up, so Fuzzy has made it entirely in the clear. And now Fuzzy's finally starting to cook. We got that 10 surge at the ready. Ellie's at a really good board state to start taking, though, so Fuzzy's gonna have to hold this for a while if you want to leverage this into a kill shot. 22 spike comes out, and Ellie just has such a nice board state, but the multiplier just isn't available, so Fuzzy's gonna be able to find their out in time. The timing just didn't line up for Ellie in the moment, but Ellie's gonna have to make their own time. Doing so quite substantially, finding another 15 surge lead. Oh my, what is this TSD tower? Ellie! A player with no hesitation on these greedy decisions, able to get it off 90% of the time. To what avail? Absolutely none in this case, but it was stylish. I love to see it. Are they gonna choose to count there? Counting once again. Keeping it clean. Ellie's doing another significant surge lead here. Fuzzy's got a decent board state, but they're gonna have to access that well sooner or later. Ellie is still up to no good right now. 19 surge. No! Okay, I thought Ellie was gonna be stuck without a skim. That counter 4 was so not allowed in that situation. But Ellie is going to survive. But that is gonna cost their advantage state. I say as they build another 4 surge. What even is advantage state? Is it real in this matchup specifically? Things are kinda happening, sparks are flying. And the recipient is changing second by second. Fuzzy's gonna break it at 7, trying to get some cheese onto Ellie's board. But Ellie's gonna be unfazed here. Ooh! Ellie is going to miss-sequence their setup. And now Fuzzy has finally gotten the guaranteed cheese on Ellie's board that they've been looking for just about all round. 3-minute mark is here, so damage margin time is now upon us. I think Ellie was looking at a TST tower there. Oh my, this is a 4-1. Ellie, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed. Why are you alive? You know, at a certain point, I should really stop questioning the methods that Ellie knows, and I simply don't. But that day will never come. The cut copy comes out from Ellie. Both players at even surges. Ellie being a little bit greedy, but they're gonna be rewarded with well access in just one bale. And Fuzzy's actually starting to struggle with the gravity here on a lot of their placements. It's actually gotten so deep into margin time that gravity is an actual factor on these top performers. But Fuzzy is not able to break that surge. Very nice downstack spike from Ellie, and that is going to be a 6th point in a row. Fuzzy's doing some mech shape. Oh no, this is actual just mechanical heart. She mirrored it. And they're able to leverage it all the way up to a 12 surge. Covering that well is a greedy play, but you will be rewarded with so much clean to work with until the misdrop comes in. And Ellie has just secured a Tetra League sweep equivalent. Unreal levels of momentum in Ellie's favor right now. Okay, I was terrified Ellie was about to open with a 4-wide. I would have cried. Both players doing their own thing with Surge right now. It's actually not often in this matchup that we've seen the mutual surges, which is kind of surprising. And they're actually taking it to the big numbers. Both of which, at 18, Ellie's going to be able to take the majority of it. But they're not able to find a kill from taking said surge. They have cycled another 6, though. Ellie's not going to get too greedy there. They have more than enough clean to their liking. A combo down stack from Ellie. Fuzzy's able to find the 4 surge. Ellie's not too far behind in the surge. But Fuzzy is still up. I say that as she does end up breaking. Just an unfortunate receival at an unfortunate time. Both players do break the surges though. Fuzzy's gonna be the one at the material advantage. Now he's gonna have to do some cycling to get down. Very interesting eye waste, but it's gonna pay off. The power of not thinking too hard through the decisions, or rather, not taking a while to think through the decisions. Well, that next piece is not spawning, and Fuzzy has taken a point. The momentum has finally stopped, and Fuzzy is required to try and convert this into a reversal. It is more than just luxury at this point. Oh my goodness, Ellie. Oh my goodness, Ellie. You're not alive. You're not alive. You're not alive. Oh my... Homie's alive? Homie doesn't care. Homie's an advantage. The offset for SP! Is that you? Words are hard. But Fuzzy's starting to cook with the surge lead, sending it as a 13 spike. Ellie gets that well in an amazing spot. Fuzzy once again at a surge lead. But it's going to be the follow-up that will determine if they find the kill. And they're gonna have to do it at a good time as well, because Ellie right now is so ready to receive. And Fuzzy is just taking this and running away with it. Using the pre-pressure this time rather than the downstack spike follow-up. And Fuzzy is able to take a second point. Momentum converted, now it's just the arduous task of maintaining it. Oh my goodness, Fuzzy. And it's in the center. You know what, maybe I've said too much. Maybe I just need to stop saying words. Nah, I yap too much, not allowed. Very nice timing from Fuzzy there. Surge down sack spike when Ellie's in the worst position possible. You'll love to see that round win conversion. Ooh, misdrops from Fuzzy. No SDPC spin allowed. Oh no, that's 2 O pieces! One in hand and one in hold. A sad way to lose momentum. But it's not over yet. Fuzzy has proved that it is possible. Ridiculous counter 4 from Fuzzy, but they are going to be rewarded with the force out of Ellie. And that down sack spike once again forces Ellie's hand. Ellie is not able to start up a surge advantage. Fuzzy might have greeted a little bit too hard for the force surge. Able to cycle the eyepiece within a line of living and dying. Ellie also within that same line, but thought a little bit too hard, had the finesse error. And Fuzzy takes another point. They're really gonna have to turn that ratio in her favor now. Fuzzy is not allowed to afford a back and forth. It has to be decisive. And this is an excellent start. For a moment there, I thought Ellie was going for Mr. T-Spin. Does Ellie know Mr. T-Spin? Probably just a misdrop on something else. Ellie is actually going to have a pretty nice surge lead here, but the down sack spike isn't... Okay, never mind. It's so there. It's right there. Not even going to leverage it. Going in a shapey shape here. TSD Forecast has the perfect count all the way at the floor. Wild way to take a round. 9-5, lead like clockwork. Ellie is absolutely cooking right now. Fuzzy's doing some mechanical heart on the right side. In the column 7. Pretty good column for Mech Heart. Uh-oh, Fuzzy, that's not a good count. They are able to evade the punish. Has a well access ready. Ellie looking for the down sack spike, able to find it. Fuzzy able to find their surge break. They got the skim they needed. Oh no! That T-piece misdrop from Fuzzy! Max multiplier 6 combo down stack spike. Very important. Very important. Able to get that cancel. And Fuzzy has made it to the clear against all odds. Ellie has a lot of material where that came from, but not nearly enough to find a kill spike. Very nice sequence find from Ellie there. Thinking about the STSD, recognizing it's sacrificing a little bit too much for not as much gain as you would hope for. Oh my, Ellie. What is the plan? Okay. It is just a forecasted surge break. That's all it is. I thought I was about to see some shenanigans. You can never be too sure with these players. But that is going to be match point Ellie. Currently doubling the score of Fuzzy, who has to take 6 rounds in a row in order to advance. Fuzzy is playing this round start extremely well, though. And using the pre-pressure to follow up with their surge. That seems to be Fuzzy's signature there. Most players do surge and then down stacks, like Fuzzy is doing pre-pressure and then surge. Ellie gonna get the 36 spike, but Fuzzy has not gone down for that. Ellie's gonna have to work a little bit harder if they want to close out this set. Ellie is able to find the force surge. Trying their absolute hardest to keep the surge lead, but all that has done is increase their disadvantage state further. This time Ellie's gonna learn from their mistakes. They're not gonna keep the greed. Fuzzy's not at the best board state right now. They're gonna have to do some cycling. Ellie has finally found a real surge lead. This could be the deciding factor. Fuzzy has a surge as well. Breaking at a really good time. Completely mitigating the disadvantage they just had. Fuzzy's gonna do a little bit of mech. Cycling the mini surge while Ellie has nothing. Ellie trying for maximum cancel, but it's just not there. Fuzzy still has some fight in her. And Ellie is finally gonna get the quad PC that you've been greeting so hard for. How does it feel? You love to see it. Fuzzy has a lot of material, but it's gonna be accessing it that's the problem here. Ellie has so much more pressure at the ready. Fuzzy's in a very dangerous situation, but Ellie's greeting so hard, Fuzzy might actually be able to convert this into a reversal. Very nice down stack from Ellie. Cancel just about everything required, but there's more where that came from. Fuzzy slowly inching closer. The task is getting easier as it progresses. Ellie, that is so many forecasts. Why are you getting away with any of this? Literally never punish. Name one time. But Fuzzy does have a surge as well. So in the case that Fuzzy is caught off guard, they at the very least have an immediate cancel. Fuzzy's actually starting to catch up to Ellie. The outpace is real. 31 spike from Ellie. Oh no, you can't put that there! The odds were looking grim regardless. But that is going to be nail in the coffin. Valiant efforts from Fuzzy. But Ellie will be advancing to Grand Finals. Rematch against Vexery. It was only a 2-point differential in Winners Finals, so I would not be surprised if we see a tiebreaker here, if we see a reset here. We're gonna see yet another close match. I feel like this entire tournament was close. Like, from all of the entirety of, like, the stream top 8, like, every matchup was close in some regard.
Always amazing to see that kind of relationship. But it is time for our grand finals. Vexry going for the C-spin start. Has the forecast ready. Forecasting even more with this gut copy. I-spin triple and it's optimal? What a find! 36 spike from Vex, and Ellie just completely face tanked it. Nothing to fear. Whoa! Ellie! And it's optimal! I can't even call out what these sequences are! Explosive first round! And an amazing point for Ellie to take. I can only imagine the mental momentum from that singular round. Vexry once again doing an unholy amount of forecasts. I spin triple! That's the second time in 2 rounds from Vexry. Doing a little bit of swagging. Having an extreme surge lead as well, really leveraging the speed advantage. Realizing that they're allowed to count there, and there's so much sustained pressure! Yeah, these players are locked in. There's no warm-up required. No rust to shake off. I don't want to see any washed in chat. Players from the get-go playing at 100%. This is exactly what you want to see. Vexry once again trying to get an insane surge lead. Has the maximum down stack spike as well. All the way up to 29. Vexry Stride with no misdrop is one of the most terrifying sights you can see as a Tetrio player. Vexry taking this into an immediate fractal. Ellie has the count to 4 into the T-spin forecast. Looking for another count to 4 before they are able to transfer their well. Surge break into downstack. It's going to be mostly used for cancel. Ellie with a very nice Z-spin double into well transfer. Maximum downstack spike all the way down to 23. Vexry looking for the count. Able to find it. Not able to find the 4 surge though, and that actually was the difference between killing and failing. Ellie finds a first down stack, gonna need to find a second, maybe even a third. There is more pressure where that came from. Vexry is not letting up. Very nice weight to tank, making sure all of that damage goes through uninterrupted. And Vexry has turned this into momentum. 3-1, a 2-point lead. Fairy Cannons coming out from Ellie. They've got the TST Tower follow-up. Deciding against tanking here. Very interesting decision in that scenario. Ellie had like 3 different ways to do that and found the good one. Love to see it. Ellie being forced to break the surge here, and oh, that J-piece is going to clip spawn. Not too many options you had there regardless. And Vexry taking, I believe, their 3rd round in a row. Actually, no, this is 4. All of Vexry's rounds have been taken in the same burst. Ellie gonna go against the forecast because you just have more. Ellie gotta make sure they do the all spin in a way that actually keeps the well good for them. Has an extremely significant surge lead here, but they're greeting a little bit too hard for these all spins. You're too dependent to get away with that. And Vexry is able to steal advantage here. Ellie does have a lot of pressure right now, but it's not going to be enough to kill. So Vex has absolutely nothing to worry about. Actually, as I say that, Vex is starting to get a little bit greedy as well. Ellie is catching up in the surge department. Vexry has the count to 4, looking for another one. Gets the eyepiece, has the TSD, not going to get greedy and go for more. Shapey Shape on deck. Trying to think about if the order matters. There is no shot Vexry got away with any of that greed. They have the count as well, all the way up to 13 Surge and counting. The down stack follow-up is ready. The momentum is relentless. 5 points in a row from Vexry. Zero hesitation in any of these decisions, and it's all paying off so well. Ellie's gonna need to find an adaptation and find it quickly. They have the TST tower at the ready, still choosing not to tank. We're gonna see the mutual surges. Ellie's up. Vexry not too far behind. But Vexry's probably gonna have to do some compromising soon. Never mind, Vexry finds like the most insane outs I've ever seen that maintain surge. But when the dust settles, we are going to return to pretty much true neutral. Though extremely volatile, this is indeed neutral. Ellie, surprisingly not... They're gonna go against deciding to break the surge. The later surge break does pay off with a kill, though. Well, the momentum has finally shifted. PCO's coming out from Ellie. Very unfortunate misdraw. No initial surge will be coming from Ellie this round. So Ellie will be trying to make it as far down as possible. In the most neutral board state as Ellie can possibly muster. But they do have the impending doom of a 32 spike from Vexry. Able to survive the initial. There's more where that came from. Vexry is cycling yet another surge. Gonna keep it mini though, not gonna take it to the absolute clean threshold of 12. Oh my, what is that well from Vexry? The game just handed that to you on a silver platter. Yet another surge is being cycled from Vex, but it's gonna be used on defense. Ellie has finally found what they were looking for. Not gonna waste even a second deciding what to do next. GG's take the round, go next. Ellie taking this into a pretty standard 5-4 stack. Not letting up the pressure, but Vexry isn't in any danger right now, so we're gonna have to hope that Ellie doesn't get punished for this. Because there is such a thing as too much pressure when you're the one sending. The 10 surge comes out from Vex, but most of it is cancelled. Both players just trying to find their optimal down stacks. Vex trying to find another surge, deciding against it, playing it safe. Has the count, deciding against maximum multiplier, gonna go for pure efficiency. If it pays off, I'd be pretty surprised here. We are just gonna end up at true neutral. Ooh, that STSD forecast is amazing from Vex. Gonna be forced into the fossil fuel stacking. Very interesting insta-chase from Ellie. I don't believe that was a requirement. But Ellie is not able to find a kill from it. The follow-up is, though... I think that was 2 176 rounds in a row from Ellie. If consistency is key, Ellie has definitely found it. Ellie having to do things in very specific orders. It's so dependent, and they were just thinking way too hard on it. The options were bail or die, and Ellie unfortunately was not able to see that. Vexry has stopped the momentum in its tracks, maintaining a 2-point lead. In a matchup as close as this one, that could be all you need.
very nice sequence from Ellie. The amount of pressure coming out from there was just so insane. The C-spin's coming out from Vexary, taking this into 6-3, ends up misdropping but gets to the Force Surge anyway. Gonna be forced to use a Surge entirely on defense, and there's no more skims afterwards. Ellie has tied it up at 6-6. The initial momentum of Vexary has been completely offset. And Ellie is looking to reverse the tides. Taking this into a mech shape. Very nice fractal find from Ellie. Stalling it for a different fractal. But Vexary is going to be the one with the surge lead. Able to tank a majority of what Ellie was sending. But Ellie found the good out that forced him to not just top out there. I say the good out because I believe that was literally the only one. But Vexary has already cycled another large surge. Up to 17 and counting. Ellie's gonna try and retaliate with a surge of their own. But it's gonna be up to a board state differential. If Vexary is able to make their way down, this could be bad news for Ellie. Ellie's able to make their way down. In the tide shift on a dime. The stick spin coming out from Ellie this time. Down with the SDPCs for now. Because I believe we've been seeing only SDPCs in terms of those openers thus far. Ellie has the perfect count to what they were going for there, forcing Vexary to defensively break their surge. Vexary, this entire event, has been doing really well in terms of their large surges, but at the same time, if they're not able to find that down sack spike, it's not gonna matter. Ellie's been doing a very nice job of forcing the hands of people in the surge leads. The spike exchange comes out. Vexary doing so much donating. And we're tied at 7-all. SDPC spin coming out from Vexary. Both players have misdropped their single U openers. Yeah, Ellie thought way too hard about their downstack, and Vexary just kept piling on the pressure. Vexary finding a stride with no misdrops. Terrifying sight to see. Play perfectly or perish. Feast or famine. Very nice counting from Vexary. It has the downstack spike with the surge, but Ellie is able to find the survival. Ellie gets the well exactly where they wanted. Able to get a flawless transition as well. Sadly now stuck in the fossil fuel stacking. Able to count to 4. Vexary not going to have to struggle too much to get access. Ellie is going to break their surge, but look how much material Ellie just has right now. It's all immediately accessible. And they're just going to take it, get even more. 32 spike has more. Vexary is alive! I'm sorry, but there is no way you see this nuclear bomb on your opponent's side and just say, nah, I'd win, and then actually win. Vexary putting off a masterclass of aura farming right now with that round win. Has a cut copy at the ready. Vexary able to downstack all the way to the floor, exactly what you want to see when you're at such a high surge lead. And Vexary is now at tournament points. Ellie has been in a similar situation before. And they were able to make it out. But now the stakes are a little bit higher. Let's see if Ellie can pull it off. This is a pretty good start from Ellie. At the floor doing floor all-spin shenanigans. They're gonna have to eat a fractal from Vexary. Most of it is canceled. Trying to get a pretty nice count. Keeping the overhangless to make sure that it's good. We're going for 30! 30 achieved. Counting even higher. 54 spike from Ellie! Vexary lives! I'm sorry, what?! Vexary, this level of aura farming should not be possible. And they're just gonna completely reverse the situation, have a surge lead of their own. Completely unfazed. Ellie's now gonna be the one on the back foot. Very nice down stack. 5 combo 14 spike, which is very required canceling at the moment, but Vexary has found the stride. Vexary is not misdropping. Vexary has the down stack follow-up. Ellie within a line of living or dying. Oh my! 4 pieces in travel time, twice in a row, completely unfazed. 0 nerves from Ellie right now. The execution is top-notch. Vexary not at a good board state, having to compromise quite a lot just to find the survival, but luckily for them, Ellie's doing some misdropping as well. Vexary's just gonna break it at 8, trying to put some cheese onto Ellie's board. Ellie has the count to 4s though. And Vexary misdrops their TST! Ellie, after dealing with some of the most insane survivals and pressure at the same time, still able to take that round. Very impressive performance from both, but that was Ellie's round. Ellie is not going down without a fight. But it's not looking good. This might actually be Vexary's time to shine. Ellie's thinking very hard about this. It's kind of a requirement, but at the same time, you need to find your way out, and you need to do so very quickly. Your tournament run is on the line. 21 surge from Vexary, but they're not going to have a downstack spike to follow up on, so Ellie's going to be completely fine. Vexary has no cycling available! Ellie's staring down in the face of death, just like, nah, it's not my time yet. I'm going out on my terms. Ellie's gonna go with the overhangless. It's optimal. It keeps the well open in very healthy fashion. Ellie's not gonna get greedy with the surge. They're going for the kill spike. They've got the downstack follow-up. Vexary has no cycle. We've made it to a tiebreaker. Ellie might just do it again! Vexary has a fractal at the ready. They have to eat a TST tower. Oh, it's looking extremely dicey for Vexary. The cycling has to be top-notch. Finds the 23 spike and Ellie was not ready! Such a hard-fought set. But the result still is not what you were looking for. Extremely well played from both players, Ellie especially from coming back that far. But your tournament victor will be Vexary. Congratulations, extremely impressive showing. Ellie definitely performing better than the previous set, taking a whole extra point, but I mean, you were here, you saw it. It definitely looks like more than just a 1 point differential, if possible. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah. You're Radiant 165 champion, everybody. Vexary. I hear it's time for shilling. I mean, it's not shilling if it's Vex. So, oh yeah, it's not shilling at all. Birthday Bash! Tizago's Birthday Bash! If you are aware of how insane it was last year, like, she pulled out a frickin' Avengers lineup list of players. And I can only imagine that this year will be equally, if not more, insane. We are keeping the TEC segment, but also adding the PPT segment as well. It's gonna be mixed so Puyo players can rejoice as well. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be gone for both of these days. I'm actually in shambles. I'm gonna enjoy watching it, but I will not be able to play nor commentate. But at the same time, I really suggest that you all pull up to this if you own one of these games. And if you don't, at the very least, pull up to the stream. The dates and times are here in Eastern, the good time zone. Prize pool's there. Oh, right. Stacker Shrine. That's a server that just dropped for future Tizagawa events because she's actually like an insane tournament organizer now. She's been cooking as of lately. So scan that QR code on screen and hop in the Stacker Shrine if you want to be notified of any more Tizagawa events. Absolutely lit. I mean, what else do I really say? It's just peak. Birthday Bash last year was probably the most insane, like, breakout event of all of event organizing. Maybe only second to, like, Apple Orchard Cup, if that counts. Is there more shilling? No more? Alright, who's our raid target? Vorvolts? Alright. Sounds like a good target. Right, I'm doing the ramblings of an insane person. Of course the chatters can't hear production. Who am I? A bozo? I've never commentated in my life? I don't know this? A lot? But anyways, thank you all for coming out to the event stream. Give Vorvolts some love, they deserve it. We're out of here. Oh. Waiting. Waiting.
Chad, see you tomorrow for the frickin' Sweden bracket, like Red Bull Tetris bracket tomorrow.
Pull up for Red Bull Tetris again!
Flower Petal is a participant in top 8, so she will be streaming that stage here on the
Y'all better pull up!
channel.
Y'all better support my goat, Flower Petal!
It's gonna be an unofficial stream, obviously, but yeah, I think it will be fun. Alright, that's it. Bye, everyone.
It is finally a Hummingbird Nest Tetris. We put the Tetris in it, let's freaking go.